conference group appointments. That's probably what I'm looking forward to more, and we'll see how that goes. I have a few specific items that are on my mind for that, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm particularly interested in both your impressions of how useful a trip over there is.
Yeah, and I'll be straightforward with those. I can tell you from the past, I'm not so big on the conference stuff, because that's a lot of well, it can be. Yeah, it's a lot of good old boys getting together and doing things. I'm more I'm more in tune with spending some time with a person that has connections, and you just go out and you do some stuff. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Not to say there's not useful information that comes out of those. There is, but you kind of have to pick and choose and look for it.
Yeah, I went several years ago at the insistence of some other people. You must go to a NACO national conference, and you learn all kinds of stuff. So I agreed to go, and it was one of the worst experiences around. The utter slovenliness of everything, and I had hoped there to see some presentations and how we could do things in a better way here. And all I heard was the usual, look at me, I was able to get more taxpayer money. I'm a good guy. And obviously, you know how I feel about that. So that didn't work too well for me. And believe me, right now I'm being sort of polite about my impressions.
Well, I'll be straight up with you when I get back.
Oh yeah, that's
okay. We'll open it up to comments. I'll let you sit down before I got you back up again.
I'm not sure I like his t-shirt though, do you?
What the heck, dude?
Yeah, I mean,
you're on a board now, so you can't wear the shirt?
Yeah, exactly. I've become part of the problem. I joined the man. So this is timely because the lobbyists that you're talking about, I had a chance to see that guy actually in person. Yeah, I only ever seen him up giving little things on the screens at some of these things. Pretty knowledgeable guy, and lives in Vancouver too. Not a home in Washington D.C. Probably has one there, but at least his residence is in Vancouver.
Yeah.
However, the part that kind of sank into me afterwards, and thinking about it, is the lobbyist goes to our representatives. Like he talks to Glusenkamp, Murray, Cantwell. That's the people he lobbies to.
And he also works with departments.
Oh, okay.
Like Army Corps and different things.
Well, I find it very interesting that, and I know it's party how things go, but I found it kind of interesting that we have to have a lobbyist to petition to our already elected representatives. And especially like Glusenkamp, she should be, we shouldn't need a lobbyist to talk to her at least.
Yeah.
And Murray and Cantwell, well, who knows what words go into their ears? It's hard to tell. But I found that to be kind of curious. Was we're hiring a lobbyist to talk to the people, to our own representatives.
Well, and sometimes they help you get access to some of these areas where you don't usually get. Now it's part of credit unions, and I think got to see Cantwell once and never Murray. They're tough to get into.
Yeah.
And I think we pay them for their expertise, or at least in my view, if I'm paying him, I want to know when I go back there that he has good contacts and he knows, so I'm not wasting a lot of time that we can get in and do things. So I agree with you that we should be able to do some of that ourselves, but sometimes they have a deeper level of knowledge, working knowledge with them that is worth the money. Not always, but you have to have the right person.
Yeah.
It's interesting that, the general mentality out there with government and grants and all that is such that they make no distinction at all between what I would call an act of God, like the blowing of Mount St. Helens, as opposed to someone that wants a bridge to nowhere kind of thing. And the lobbyists help keep that priority in mind. And they have to span not only the elected, the senator and House representative, they've got to talk to the Army Corps of Engineers in the case. Like we really should have been dredging the Cowlitz on basically just a calendar.
Yeah.
And that hasn't really happened because bad decisions are being made, and the lobbyist is a reminder to everybody and a conduit between the Army Corps and the representatives. It's
So in your example, then I guess the lobbyist isn't really getting the job done. Then are they? Because if they
Again,
were getting the job done, then we would have the Cowlitz would be getting dredged. Right? We would be moving that sediment up above. We'd be like some little ants up there, and it seems like an impossible task. But if we'd have been doing it all these years, we probably wouldn't have that threat of all that stuff washing right straight down the river, right?
That is correct, but we did not have lobbyists. We were City of Longview had lobbyists before we had lobbyists, and we started the lobbyists about 6 years ago, or maybe only 5. And unfortunately, these things it's kind of like a new kid that joins a ball team. It'll take a while before people will provide you respect.
Yeah. And it's incumbent on us that we use them for the right purposes. I can point out, well, I won't, but I can tell you different entities and stuff that use them just to seek money. And my deal on just chasing money.
Yeah.
I want solutions, not just money, but there's people that just want them to chase money. So it's incumbent on us to ask them for the right things. And that's where you guys can play a role too. You got to keep us on track and what we really want. Our colleague talks about a bridge to nowhere. I can give you one. My place over in Idaho, there's a bridge called the Dip Bridge. It's named after a senator or a rep for many years back in there. And it's this beautiful, big suspension bridge. It's like a mini San Francisco bridge. It's this beautiful thing. You go over it and 2/10 down a mile, you're on a gravel road to nowhere.
Wow.
And it's just this huge where you could have, have you seen the old where they do the logging bridges so a truck could get over? You could have got by with that, right?
Yeah.
But that's what you got to be careful.
Got to ask for the right thing.